Hello, this is AstrologerCoach Sonja Francis, and today I'm going to be talking about the upcoming new moon that will be exact at 1 degrees of Libra on September 24th at 2:14 a.m. East Coast time in the US, which is also New York time, and on September 23rd at 11:14 p.m. Pacific time, which is also LA time. Now, the new moon is always a new beginning for the new moon cycle. And it's this time around, it's also the beginning of eclipse season, which will last for 6 weeks until November 6th. And so this is a very special time in a sense that we're entering. We're entering a time of a consciousness upgrade. I will talk a little bit more about that in detail a little bit later. It's also, the new moon is also a time where we want to send intentions. So it's a very potent time this month around because we had an equinox just a day, a little bit over a day before the new moon. And the equinoxes are times that are very strong in energy, where there is a shift in season, right? So for the northern hemisphere, that was the autumn equinox. And so with these equinoxes taking place at the same time as the new moon, that gives the intention setting process even a more powerful, more potent push, right? So definitely set some intentions this month. I will talk about the exact times when to set the intentions at the end of this video, because there are times where it's more powerful to set them than other times. All right. Now let's talk first about what the Libra energy is all about for this lunar cycle and for this month. Libra is very much a relationship-oriented sign. It's about creating win-win situations between you and other people. It's about fair exchanges, and it's about harmonious connections in our relationships. Now, if you have any kind of projects that you're planning on doing that require diplomacy or negotiations or relationship skills, then this is definitely the month to do it. Especially anything that you're doing before the eclipse, before the lunar eclipse that happens in 2 weeks from now, is definitely a great time for us to focus on this Libra energy. Now, some things that you can ask yourself for this moon cycle is, how can I create more balance in my life? That is internally and externally, right? And then how could I expand my definition of what a relationship is? Because very often, we think of relationships as one thing, just one way. But really, we do have relationships with everything, with a lot of different things, right? I mean, first and foremost, we have a relationship with ourselves, of course. And that's a relationship that's very strong because we are around ourselves 24/7, right? So that's probably the relationship that's the most important one. But then we also have relationships to animals, to plants, to things. We have relationships to our health or to our illnesses. We have a relationship to other people in our lives. Sometimes we have relationships that are great, harmonious, supportive relationships, and then other times we have relationships that have more friction and that are more uncomfortable to be around, right? So that relationship happens on a lot of different levels and shows up in a lot of different ways, but nevertheless, they're all relationships. So what we want to really look at in order for us to have a healthy relationship to ourselves and to other people, we want to look at, like, what is that relationship to ourselves first and foremost? How do we approve of ourselves? And does that make a difference in terms of how we show up in our other relationships? Because the more we can honor ourselves and approve of ourselves, the more we can have healthier relationships with other people, things, plants, animals, the planet, and so on, right? Now, we can also learn, by honoring ourselves, we can also learn to honor both parties in a relationship, right? Because it always takes two, right? I think you know that saying, right? It always takes two to create, a fight or to create a harmonious experience. It always takes two. So we can create a more equal experience with other people when we're able to honor both parties equally in the relationship, right? And so the thing with Libra is, of course, that, even though it is an intellectual sign, it is ruled by Venus, which means that there is a heart component that comes into connecting to other people on an equal footing, right? So it's not just with our mind that we're creating these win-win situations, but it's also through our understanding of another person, or through how we're able to connect from a heart space, that we're able to create all of that, right? So we're definitely being encouraged during this Libra new moon to reconcile opposite energies, to engage the head and the heart, and to make sure that we desire what's best for everybody involved. And that's what Libra is concerned about, and what Libra wants. It wants everyone to have equal rights and equal opportunity. So we want to create mutually beneficial relationships. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to compromise ourselves, our essential selves completely, our values and our goals. So it's not about giving up who we are so that we can create somehow harmony and somehow, have better relationships. It's about finding a way to honor ourselves and honor the other person, honor what we need and want, and what we're all about, and honor the other person equally in that way, and then find a commonality, how we can meet with all these differences that we probably have, because most people are not exactly the same, right? Now Venus, which is the ruler of Libra, is making a mutual reception with Mercury at the time of the new moon. They're in each other's sign at the time of the new moon, and that means that they support each other's agendas. And so with Venus being, connects us to the heart chakra, Mercury connects us to our everyday mind and to processing and sharing information, and also connecting to our thought processes in that way. That's Mercury. And with Venus journeying through Virgo and Mercury journeying through Libra at the time of the new moon, there is an opportunity for more clarity. There's more clarity that we're able to bring to the picture as far as our relationships are concerned, but also as far as our daily routines are concerned, and bringing more balance to our work and health routines, right? Now, the other thing that's happening during this new moon is that Pluto, the planet of empowerment and disempowerment, but mainly the empowerment process, is coming to a halt right before the new moon becomes exact, and is turning direct. It's changing directions. So it's been retrograde for 5 months, and now it's going direct right before the new moon becomes exact. And this is very potent. We're feeling this move forward as far as our own inner empowerment is concerned. And so we're getting an opportunity to take a giant step forward in our lives, letting go of control, letting down our walls. And the key here with Pluto, with this potent Pluto energy, is to really open our hearts and to surrender to the process of what's going on. What is this energy trying to teach us right now? What is the awareness? What are we aware of most acutely in terms of, our fears? What are we scared about? Old traumas that are showing up in our lives, things that we have experienced in childhood. And so it's important that we keep opening our hearts every time something like that is showing up, and surrendering to this process of, it's like an alchemy, like a transformational process, right? Where we're learning to take what's been painful in the past, or what's been scaring us in the past, or what has felt disempowering, and turning it into the opportunity to use it as something that has created a tremendous strength inside of us as well, and the ability to stand up for ourselves and to connect to ourselves in a more authentic way. So we've learned through some of these traumas, we've learned, what doesn't work for us, and we've learned what we want and what we don't want, right? So there's always sort of like a silver lining that's connected to the Pluto energy. And that's what we're wanting to connect to right now as well, with Pluto having gone direct so shortly before the new moon. So as best as you can, surrender to that process and allow the experience to be what it is, and just trust the process, because very often we're going through an intense time in our lives. We're going through confronting our fears, or working through issues that we have of addiction, or of uh, of control, or attachments, any kind of issues that we have where we're just not experiencing complete freedom, right? Where there's something that's having a grip on us rather than we're just choosing and feeling free in the matter. That is usually a Pluto issue. And so we're definitely, when we go through phases like this, and we look back on that process once we've gone through it, we usually realize, like, wow, this was really powerful. This was really necessary for me to experience. And that's what we need to trust. When we're in this space of intensity, we need to trust that this process is necessary for us, so that we can move to a higher place, so that we can move more fully into a place of authenticity with ourselves on an inner level, on an inner emotional level. And that's also where we can then more fully connect to our inner passion. And when we're connected to our inner passion, we feel more alive. And when we feel more alive, we can make a bigger difference in the world, and in our lives, in our own lives as well, right? So this is what Pluto is all about. Now, let's talk a little bit about, I also mentioned the equinoxes in the beginning. So the equinoxes are definitely an opportunity to create more potent intentions for this new moon cycle, but also to participate in some kind of ceremonial activity. Very often people during the shift of the seasons have celebrated the shift of seasons. And for the reason that the energy during that time is very potent. And so there is you can do some kind of ritual during that time that supports that shift for you. Also, at this time with this new moon is an opportunity for us to really see where we can expand our capacity for balance and explore new ways of looking at the things we do, right? Because we do things very often in a very unconscious way. We don't pay attention to, like, is that actually serving me, or is that actually creating more balance in my life, or is that, putting me completely out of balance, or is this something that's really not of service to me? So consciously trying to see, like, where can we create more balance is going to be very valuable this lunar cycle. And I would say the core message really with Venus also being in Virgo, right, is keep improving your relationship to your own personal health. No matter where you're at with that, whether you're experiencing illnesses right now, or whether you're experiencing, just tiny little annoyances, like, you're feeling tired, or you're feeling stressed, or, whatever it may be, right? Just see how you can improve that relationship towards your own health and towards your own physical body. Also improve your relationship with yourself, with others, with the planet, right? And so these are really the core messages with this new moon. And so you can ask yourself, what calls out for you as far as love and balance is concerned? What is there? What's obvious to you, like, in terms of, like, how can you create more love and more balance in your life? And then also, what are you standing in service to? Because Venus in Virgo very much wants to be in service to something. And so look in your relationships, what are you in service to? Like, what's the intention behind, what are you giving? What are you putting out as far as your relationships are concerned? And of course, that includes also the relationship with yourself, right? That's always the first relationship we have. Now, let's talk a little bit about eclipses. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that eclipse season is something that's starting with this new moon. And this is a very important time. It happens twice a year, eclipse season. The last one was in April. Now we have another eclipse season coming upon us. And this one will be 6 weeks long. It starts with the new moon in Libra, and it ends with the full moon after the solar eclipse, which will be on November 6th. So it's very important during the eclipse season that we remain very open and very flexible, because we're receiving a consciousness upgrade and something is being rebooted in us, where there's sort of like, I like to compare it to like when you get a new software program for your computer, and you have to reboot the computer so that the new software program can take effect and can be fully incorporated in the computer system. And this is the same for us right now. The energies are very strong. The eclipses are always connected to our soul's journey, because they're connected to the moon nodes. And so we are getting from, on a soul level, we are being invited to move more fully into this soul journey. And so this upgrade that we're receiving is helping us with that. And so the more open and flexible we can be in these next 6 weeks, the more we're going to be able to receive this upgrade and deal with it more consciously and more calmly. And the thing will be that, of course, between now and November 6th, things will feel a little bit unpredictable. There might be some surprises during that time. There might be things that we don't understand now that we will understand after November 6th. So it is definitely a time where there's some unpredictability. And so for a lot of people, when there's a time of unpredictability, which of course we're all too familiar with right now, with that Pluto-Uranus square that we've been having since 2012, right? Or 2011, pretty much. We've been feeling this unpredictability in our lives very much. But with the eclipses, the notch gets turned up a little bit higher. So there is a tendency for a lot of people to feel very anxious during that time, to feel very nervous, to get a little bit impulsive, like wanting to resolve the anxiety, wanting to take action right away. And this is something that I would not recommend. So if something happens during eclipse season that needs to, if something's happening organically, something's ending or something's beginning, then that's fine. Something that's ending needs to end. Something that's beginning organically needs to begin. If there are any changes, that's fine. They need to happen. But we don't want to be forcing an issue. We don't want to be starting anything brand new that we're forcing because we're anxious or because we're not willing to wait until eclipse season is over. However, again, if something happens organically, let it happen, right? So it's not about fear. It's about just being open and flexible and allowing that upgrade to take place, right? So we don't want to force new beginnings, but if new beginnings happen organically, that's okay. The other thing too is the reason why we don't want to force new beginnings too is that a lot of times we don't have all the information that we need during eclipse season that we then later on will find out that there's something that we needed to know in order to do something that we started during eclipses, right? So we don't have all the information. That's what's important to know, right? So as best as you can, breathe, stay grounded, stay open, stay flexible, and just know that whatever is occurring during this time, it is for your highest good. It is for you to evolve to the next level of your consciousness and to help you move forward with your soul's journey. So it's all good. Anything that's happening, it's all good, right? Now, if you have 0 to 3 degrees of any personal planets or personal points in your birth chart in Libra, Aries, Capricorn, or Cancer, or 29 degrees of Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius, then you are definitely feeling this new moon more strongly. But of course, all of us will have the new moon somewhere in our chart. So wherever you have Libra in your chart, that area of your life is definitely going to be activated. Now, I'm happy to support you. If you need to know where that is in your chart, you can either reach out for a reading, or you can watch my video about how to read a birth chart, which is available on YouTube or on my website. And both of those things will help you to get more to the bottom of this energy for this new moon for you personally, right? Now let's talk a little bit about setting intentions, right? So setting intention for this month is going to be very important, very potent energy because of the equinoxes and the new moon, and eclipse season is starting. So let's set some intentions. You want to use whatever we've talked about during the new moon video, right? Use those energies for setting intentions. And the best time to set the intentions is always after the new moon has become exact, after, and not during a moon void, of course. You always want to avoid a moon void, of course. That's not a good time to set intentions. So this time around, and you want to, the first 48 hours after the new moon are most potent. Now, if you miss the first 48 hours, then you can still set intentions. Just remember to make sure that the moon is not void, of course, while you're doing it. Okay, but the first 48 hours are definitely the most potent. Now, this time around, the first 48 hours will be anytime between 2:14 a.m. on September 24th, which is the Wednesday, very early morning, New York time, and 2:14 a.m. September 26th, which is the Friday, also New York time. Now, if you live in a different time zone, feel free to plug in the New York time zones and put them into the time zone converter that you can find on the internet. If you Google it, you will find it. And then just plug in your own time zone, and then it will convert it for you, and then you know when it's the best time to set intentions. However, I will also, on my Facebook fan page and on my Twitter page, I will let you know when is the best time to set intentions, so that way it doesn't matter what time zone you're in. When you get that tweet or when you get that update on my Facebook page, you know it's time, and then you can set your intentions, right? Okay, so that's what's available. Now, lastly, I just want to quickly talk about my Soul Journey workshop one more time, because it is going to be such a powerful weekend, and I'm so excited to be doing this. We will be talking about soul purpose, soul journey. All of this we're going to go into great detail in that. I'm going to be guiding everyone this week, on that weekend. I'm going to be guiding everybody to really explore this energy that they've come here to connect with in this lifetime in more detail. And, also bring people back to that, because very often, on a soul level, we decide we come into a particular experience, but then we get sidetracked. There are detours. There are certain experiences that we have in life. And there are always opportunities for us to come back to that true essence, to that purpose, to that journey that we're on, that we came here to explore. And this weekend is such an opportunity for you. So if you have been asking yourself, that you want to do something a little bit more that fulfills you more in life, that you feel a little bit dissatisfied with what you're doing in life, you wanted to find a deeper meaning, or you just want to have a clearer sense of direction of where you're going, this weekend is definitely for you. And I know it's going to be amazing because I've already done it once in May of this year. And it's been really fantastic, and it was wonderfully received. So I just want to encourage you to step into if this is at all a question for you, step into this weekend with me. It's going to be fantastic. All astrology levels are welcome this weekend. So whether you are someone who is really well-rounded with astrology or it's completely brand new for you, it doesn't matter. You will get the benefit. You will understand your soul journey, your soul purpose, and you will tap into these energies fully that weekend. Now, there is an early bird special that will be available until the 23rd of September. If you're watching this video after the 23rd of September, then definitely reach out to us. There will be payment plans available. My assistant Anna will be supporting you with that if you need something like that. So definitely reach out via email to info@astrologercoach.com. And Anna and I will be happy to support you in any way we can. And if you want to just read in more detail what the structure of the course is, where it's taking place, and what the dates are, and all that good stuff, all the details, go to my website and go to weekend courses. You click on that page and it will give you all the details. It will be even more detailed on my new website that's launching this week. So there's definitely everything's there. But if you do have any additional questions, which is definitely possible, definitely feel free to reach out to me or Anna and ask us. We're always happy to help and support and make sure that you get everything that you need. Okay, so I'm definitely looking forward to connecting with you and helping you discover your soul journey, or rediscover, because part of you already knows what it is, but rediscover your soul journey in more detail. And for those of you who are not able to make it in November to my weekend, have a fantastic new moon. Please feel free to stay in touch. Reach out if you have anything show up during the eclipse season. Feel free to reach out for support. I'm always happy to support you via a reading or via a coaching healing session. All of that is available to you. For more details, also feel free to look on my website for that as well. Okay? So have a good one. This is Astrologer Coach Sonja Francis. Goodbye.